Hello friends and welcome back to a new DIY tutorial. In this episode I'll show you how you can upgrade your 2010-2016 Porsche, including Cayenne, Macan, Cayman, Panamera, Boxster, 911, 919 and even the 718 by adding Apple CarPlay, Airplay, Android Auto and MirrorLink to the factory PCM 3.0, PCM 3.1, PCM 4.0 and CDR 3.1 multimedia systems. The best part? You keep all the original factory functions of the car exactly as Porsche intended. Let me show you how you can do this DIY step by step. Some of you already know that I usually work with AUTOABC products as they offer great tech support in case I have any questions during the installation, so I decided to buy another one of their products. AUTOABC is not just a reseller, they design and manufacture their own products and sell them through their official online store. They also have great prices and discount codes from time to time and offer free shipping for most parts of the world. First, go to the official AUTOABC website or click the link that I left in the description. Type Porsche or PCM in the browse menu, and here you find the kit that adds all those nice functions, and you can also buy an aftermarket reverse camera because you can easily connect it to this product. As I said, the wireless CarPlay kit is compatible with a lot of Porsche models and media units. You just select the media unit in your car, add it to the cart, and the checkout type DIY PCM. With this discount code you get a massive 20% discount, the price becoming only $160. After testing this module, I can tell you that it's worth every penny. Before I show you what this kit contains and how it is installed, I want to ask you to watch the tutorial from start to finish because this was the first time I installed this module on a Porsche and I made a few small mistakes like any DIYer. This is a Linux-powered CarPlay interface module. This means that this device practically adds a very stable Linux operating system independent from the original one, which comes with the listed functions, and with a simple button press you can switch between the original menu and the module menu. Along with the module, you also get this main wiring harness with two quad-lock connectors that connect to the original media unit. Attention, this jack port labeled Macan is only for cars that do not have a factory microphone. Then you have this wiring harness with multiple RCA connectors where you can also connect a reverse camera. I have a link in the description to one of my very detailed tutorials on how to connect an aftermarket camera to an Android unit. The procedure is the same for this module regardless of the car. We also have in the box these two wiring harnesses that connect to the module inside the original media unit. These are 4 ribbon cables that also connect to the module. 2 of them are actually spare. And these standoffs are mounted to allow the installation of the aftermarket module on top of the original media unit board. Of course, we also have a very well structured installation manual, and if you scan these QR codes, you will find some great tutorials from AUTOABC, however without voiceover. I also have many installation videos on my channel with similar modules for multiple car brands and models. Here are the installation diagrams. Don't worry, I will illustrate all the steps and even show where I made some small mistakes. You also get instructions for pairing smartphones depending on the operating system, Android or iOS. Let's move on to the installation. First, I will have to remove the side air vents. To do this, insert a pick tool or a flat screwdriver and pull on these metal clips. There are 4 in total, 2 at the bottom and 2 at the top, positioned on both sides. I'll show you exactly how the system works after I remove the air vent. Keep pulling on the clips and with the other hand pull the air vent out. They come out much easier if you start with the lower part. Inside you have this connector. With the pick tool, slightly pry this edge and it will come out without any issues. Here's how those clips work. Insert the pick tool and pull the clip toward the inside. It's very simple and logical. Do exactly the same for the left air vent. Then, using a T20, remove 4 screws. Now we can remove the original media unit, but we will need to move the gear shifter to another position because it gets in the way. Let me show you how to disconnect all the cables at the back. You can take a picture of all the connectors, but keep in mind that both the cable plugs and the ports are color coded, so it's very hard to mix them up. This connector has a clip that I will press with a flat screwdriver and then wiggle it until it comes out. Proceed the same way with the rest of the small connectors. For the quad lock connector, press the black clip and use a screwdriver to pivot the locking lever. That's basically it. As you can see, all the ports are color coded, making reinstallation extremely simple. First, we remove this small trim. Just insert the screwdriver under the 2 plastic tabs and pull the trim out. Then we have 2 Torx screws on top and 2 at the bottom that secure the screen to the media unit housing. On both sides of the housing, you have 2 metal clips that need to be pressed to release the screen. Work on both sides. Opening the media unit housing is a bit more fiddly, so arm yourself with patience. Now we need to remove the 2 ribbon cables from the screen. Set the screen aside because now we need to detach the CD player. The CD player is secured with only 3 screws on the back side. Now you'll have to tear this tape. It's probably some kind of seal, but the car is long out of warranty, so it doesn't matter anymore. What you need to understand now is that in order to detach the CD-ROM unit, we need to slide it toward the back. This tape would prevent that, and sliding it out is already a bit difficult anyway. Here is the basic principle again. Why am I showing you this? Because I will be working on both sides of the housing, and since both sides look almost the same, it's easier to understand what I'm actually doing. After several attempts with gentle persuasion, I switched to brute force and everything went much easier. Haters will say it's not the right way, but honestly, I don't care. Once the CD-ROM unit has slid into that position, you can detach it by carefully lifting it, because inside it is obviously connected to the original media unit motherboard. We have the same ribbon cable locking system for the CD-ROM. We set the CD-ROM aside and move on. On the back side, there is a small metal piece secured with a screw. After removing this small metal piece, we will be able to route the necessary wires through the opening it covers. Lift this part and pull it out. The CarPlay module will sit exactly in this position on top of the original motherboard. Now you need to remove 3 small screws. I will now use standoffs to be able to mount the module. For this, it's best to use a 6mm socket. I eventually inserted a screw here as well because the top left standoff did not align properly with the module. Here I made my first small mistake because it's best to insert the cables and Wi-Fi antenna through the small opening first and only then secure the board because the space is very tight and it will be hard to insert the connectors into the two ports here. You'll see later why, so watch the entire tutorial. As you can see, I used this hole for a third mounting point because the top left standoff did not align with the module. Then the original ribbon cables are inserted into the slots on the module. After inserting and securing them, check that the blue strip is perfectly horizontal. Also keep in mind that all ribbon cables are inserted with the text facing downward. The blue strip is horizontal, so I move on to the next narrower ribbon cable. Now we take a set of ribbon cables and insert them into the other ports. These will connect to the screen instead of the original ones, so I will route them through the specially designed opening. I then routed the cables through that opening, but as I mentioned earlier, it would have been ideal to route the Wi-Fi antenna first because it passes more easily without these two wiring harnesses already in place. Also, it was not necessary to screw the module down yet because there is no space to insert the connectors with the module already secured. Here I realized that I should have connected the connectors before fixing the module with screws, so I removed the screws, connected the connectors, and only then secured the module back in place. I recommend using tweezers during installation because the screws and standoffs are quite small and tend to fall into hard to reach places. And that's basically the installation of the module. All that's left is to reconnect the ribbon cable for the CD-ROM, securing the CD-ROM back into the main housing of the media unit, and then attach the display back onto the assembly. I will fast forward here because it's exactly the same as this assembly. Ta-da! I finished reinstalling everything back in place. Here is how the rest of the cables will connect in the car. We are back in the car and continue with connecting the rest of the wiring harnesses. We connect the wiring harnesses with the RCA ports and the USB. If you want to have a USB port for wired CarPlay, you can route it to the passenger footwell. Personally, I never use it because AUTOABC modules have a very good and fast wireless connection, much faster than Android head units. I will bundle these wires together with electrical tape. Insert this connector as well, and now all that's left is to insert the quad lock connectors, but just before that we need to move the fiber optic cables from the original quad lock connector to the aftermarket one. To remove the fiber optic cables, just press this clip and pull the wires out. Now I'll connect the original quad lock connector from which I removed the fiber optic cable to its matching connector on the wiring harness. We obviously need to transfer the fiber optic cable to the aftermarket quad lock connector so it can reach the media unit again. Insert it into the same position it had on the original connector. Now we can connect the aftermarket quad lock connector to the media unit. Push until the connector is fully seated, then lift the locking lever. All that's left is to connect the small connectors according to their colors. I finished connecting absolutely everything and we can do our first test. The original menu is functional, the reverse camera is functional, and if we long press the info button, we enter the module menu. Everything works perfectly, the buttons work, the touchscreen works, so we can reinstall everything back in place. For CarPlay, tap the CarPlay icon and connect your phone via Bluetooth to the module's Bluetooth. You can find the module's Bluetooth name in the top left corner. It's the same procedure as on factory CarPlay cars. Once the two devices are paired, you just need to turn on Bluetooth and the connection will happen automatically. I'll now let you see for yourselves how everything works, and unlike other YouTubers who fast forward to make devices look faster than they actually are, I'll leave everything in real time. In some parts, however, I have to remove the original audio so I don't get a strike on the channel. Hey Siri. Drive to Berlin.
Getting driving directions to Berlin using Waze.
Hey Siri. Play Rammstein.
Now playing Assess the Este Rammstein on Spotify. I'll need to access your WhatsApp data to use the app. Do you want to read your messages, send a message, or make a call?
Read messages.
Diana said okay, and a message in Romanian. Would you like to reply in English?
No, thank you.
That's everything.
What you need to know is that Airplay cannot work at the same time as CarPlay, so you just need to go into the module menu and enable iOS Mirror or Airplay from settings.
the story that brought me here. No rules, no change, no wasted breath. Just me and the engine, I'm running death. Hold me close till I get up.
If you scan the QR code, you also get an installation tutorial, but definitely not as detailed. Go back to the app menu. Let me now show you how Android Auto works.
Un picior de plai, pe o gură de rai, iată vin în cale, se cobor.
Hey Google, drive to Bucharest.
Got it. Bucharest.
Jur pe focul din al meu dor, nu dau pas înapoi din rai, se înalță cântecul de vechiul grei.
Let's also do mirroring from an Android smartphone. Alright guys, this was my tutorial. I am very satisfied with these CarPlay modules from AUTOABC and I recommend them with full confidence. I hope it was helpful and I tried to make it as detailed as possible. Don't forget to reward the effort I put into filming and editing with a simple tap on like, comment, hype or subscribe. It's free. Until next time, I wish you all the best. Goodbye.